Good morning, NeapoliFans. NeapolitanGal here. So as you can see, I've got the Naples Pier webcam up for you. I'm not able to get down there today, but the webcam's up. I have all of my social media handles over here. And I thought we'd chat for a few minutes today about if you're an international traveler coming from another country to the U.S., and need a phone number. A phone number to text people while you're here in the States to the States. A phone number to converse with people while you're here. Now, if you're coming from Canada or I think Mexico, I think you're able to still use your phones here without incurring any additional charges. But if you're from any other country, people just can't call you. So what happens a lot of times is international travelers will come over, they'll get a cheap phone from like Walmart or something like that, turn a plan on, a pay-as-you-go while they're here. But why? There's a way around this. Now, granted, there is a way around it as long as you have a Wi-Fi connection of some sort. If you know somebody who has Comcast, and there's Comcast Xfinity boxes around, you can use their Comcast as your Wi-Fi. You can use public Wi-Fi. Or if someone's in the car with you that is a U.S. citizen, well, that lives here year-round, and has the hotspot on their phone, you can also have them turn their personal hotspot on for you and use the app I'm going to introduce you to. Now, I have used off and on for many, many years an app called TextNow. Now, what TextNow is, I use it so when I'm signing up for things online that requires a phone number, my regular phone doesn't get inundated with phone calls and sign-up text messages and crap like that. And I also use it sometimes when I'm doing one thing or another, like if I'm in public, and because I drive Uber and Lyft, and somebody asks me for my phone number so they can call me for a ride sometimes without having to go through the app, that's a phone number I would give them. I don't want them having my regular phone number, even though, yes, I can block people, but why bother? If I can give them a somewhat fake but still working number, it's much better. And if you have to, you can change numbers. Well, there is a company out there called TextNow. I'm going to introduce you to TextNow right now. This is TextNow. With this company, now see, it says plans starting at $10 a month, but you don't even have to do that. I think they go through like T-Mobile or something like that. But as long as you have a Wi-Fi connection, you can send texts with TextNow. You can do it from your phone, from your tablet, from your computer. Now, with your phone, you can make phone calls, send video, send pictures, send texts. With your computer or your tablet, I think with the computer as well, as long as you have a microphone set up, you can also make phone calls. And then your tablets, it depends on the brand. I think my Samsung Galaxy tablet, I think I can make phone calls on, and probably an iPad, but off-brands probably not. But you can use multiple devices. You can be logged into multiple devices. So you can have TextNow on your phone, on your tablet, and log in on your computer, and you won't get booted off. Now, I know something like WhatsApp and what's the other one? Kick. You can only log in one app at a time on those, and I think I've heard the one that's called Kick. Once you log out of one device and into another device, you've lost your text logs. You've lost your call logs. So you still have your friends list, people you've spoken to, but you lose everything else. But with TextNow, that's not the case. I can log in to my phone, to my computer, to my tablet, and still have the same conversation going on. Now, if I had it on my phone going, and then I logged into my tablet, it just has to sync up with their servers. But I get everything. I've never paid for TextNow ever. And I've been using TextNow for 6 or 7 years. So, as you can see, I've been using it for so long and I've never had to pay for it. You can do the same thing. Wi-Fi and cellular connected everywhere. As long as you're on Wi-Fi, you have a phone. You bring your phone over from any country, download that app, and you've got a US phone number. Now, you can type in, like in the area code that I'm in a 239 area code. You cannot find a 239 number anywhere on TextNow. We're such a populous area with that area code. That's probably going to be the same with the 212 and the 202 area codes. But what you do is you type in the area code that you want. If it's not available, they will give you the closest area code to the area that you are in. So mine has a Sarasota or either a Sarasota or Fort Lauderdale area code is what mine has on it. And as long as you send one text a month, make one phone call a month, either one, you get to keep that phone number indefinitely. You never lose it. So you can use it, you can log in when you're in another country, you can text your friends, you can still make phone calls as long as you are connected to a Wi-Fi connection, anywhere in the world you go. So you can literally keep that phone number and use it no matter where you are. You can renew the phone number if you want to. You can change it, no matter where you are, your U.S. friends can still talk to you, can still text you, can still send you pictures without having to go through social media to do it. And it's private. You can do international calling. With this, they do charge you for it, so that you just have to look up. But hey, it's nice to be able to know that you can, have a U.S. phone number as long as you can get the app on your phone, and make these calls, send these texts, receive messages without having to go and get another phone every time you come to the States. Why bother? If you can make that phone call while you have a Wi-Fi going, you could go to Verizon or get one of those little boxes if you wanted to, that just gives you a hotspot. And then everybody in your family can continue to use their own phones without having to buy another piece of equipment and make those calls. So, again, this is a really easy app to download. You can download it right to your phone, and you just sign up with your email address. After you sign up, let me go back up here. After you go in and sign up with your email address, so let's see here. Don't have an account? Sign up for free. Create an account with your email address. You create a password. You can even sign in with your Facebook or Gmail account. And then once you're signed in through your app, it should keep you signed in. It might say remember me or something like that. But so there you have it. You can do it through your iPad, you can do it through your tablet, computer, Mac computer, your phones, as long as your app store has this app, you can use it. And if your app store doesn't have this app, there's always the website called TextNow. Sorry, I just washed my hands. My rings got a little wet. These are actually costume jewelry rings, but they're so pretty compared to my regular wedding bands. So I actually wear costume jewelry when I go out at night, especially when I'm driving Uber and Lyft. So that way, if I get robbed, I don't lose the real stuff. So these are fake. They're as fake as the day is long, and I'm not talking about my nails. My nails are real. But I paid on Top Hatter. I got these for $1. Yeah, got them for a whole $1. I would have been $2, but I had a credit, so it was $1. shipped all the way here from China for $1. I wore them for the first time last night when I went out to karaoke, and I figured they're so pretty. Why not wear them on camera with you? But yes, these babies are real. I've grown them out. As you can see, my pointer fingers are, index fingers are, they break from time to time because I do so much typing, so they keep breaking. My pinkies are pretty good, and the rest of my fingers, I mean, I do my own painting. I don't go to the salon, so they're kind of a mess, but yeah. So these guys are mine, for real. This is fake. And these are real. Okay, enough of that. But anyway, so yeah, so you can go on TextNow.com and click login, then it will say don't have an account, sign up. You can sign up wherever you plan on traveling to, just type in their area code. You'll either get that one if there's one available, or you'll get a phone number for a different area. But that's okay. In US, the majority of us don't worry about long distance phone calls anymore, because unless you just have a basic landline, all phone calls are the same these days. So what prompted me to do this video anyway? Okay, so I work for an appliance repair company. And about, I don't know, a week or so ago, I had a lady call in. She was calling in because her parents, I think, or her dad, one of his appliances were misbehaving as she was visiting. But because she was visiting, and she didn't go out and buy one of those disposable phones, she didn't do an app like this, she wasn't using WhatsApp, which I don't know anybody who travels internationally or has international family who doesn't use WhatsApp. So she didn't have any of that, so she just said, I'm from overseas, though she was an American, you could tell, so she must live overseas, so she had an overseas phone number, and most of us don't have landlines anymore, so Dad doesn't have a landline where, his condo was. So she says, once the parts come in, or the guy's on his way over, and then when you guys call my dad with the estimate, and when the parts come in, you got to call him and do all this stuff, and he'll contact me to let me know everything is good to go. Because she doesn't have a U.S. landline, and she doesn't have a U.S. phone, and she doesn't get one of those throwaways when she's here. And it didn't dawn on me until I hung the phone up. I was like, damn, I should have told her about TextNow. Because she sounded young enough to probably have a smartphone. And the smartphone was probably here with her. That's how her dad most likely contacts her. But I didn't even think, hey, you should download TextNow. Because then you could make U.S. phone calls, and I'm not sure whose phone she was using when she called me. Her dad might have been there and was leaving or something. I don't know the whole story of it, but the thing is, I could have told her if I had thought about it, and these people aren't sponsoring me. Hey, TextNow, you should sponsor me. But I'm fixing to bring you a lot of business one way or another, right? But yeah, I mean, if she had had a TextNow account, she wouldn't have had to worry about any of that. And you know what I do too is at work, because I am the person who calls and tells you your parts are in. I'm also one of the people who answers the phone when you call in to set an appointment for your appliances. But sometimes people call in and they're driving, and I've got to give them a phone number. And I'll tell them, this is your cell phone, right? Yeah. I'm like, I'll just send you a text. I don't send my text from my real phone number. I send it from the TextNow number. We have some clients who, we have this one client. It's a name brand of a client. They have smaller franchisees locally, and they sell ice cream out of these big coolers, like deep freezes. And in June, 2 of these were dropped off at our shop. They're still sitting there because the franchisee isn't responsible for the equipment upkeep. It's the owner who's responsible for the upkeep. And we've been trying to get a hold of that owner forever. We keep calling the poor guy who is in charge of these machines. That he sets them down, he fills them up with their product, but he's not responsible, and you would think after a while he would just want to get the one back in service even though the other one's dead, but he's not doing that. And it's only like $84. You're probably making more than that on, you know, a quarter of the stock that goes in this thing, when you're losing more money by not having it in place than you would by paying it and getting reimbursed by this guy. But I diverge. So I sent that guy a text through TextNow yesterday before I left work saying, hey, here's the skinny on this. We need payment. Your guy needs to be able to get his freezers back. The one freezer's scrap, but the other one works. It's up and running. It's ready to go. But we need to get it out of our back room because they're huge. These two stacked on top of each other are almost the size of a family refrigerator. They're so big. And our garage, where all of our stuff is stored, you know, where we bring the appliances to be repaired, if we bring them back to the shop, where the stuff that's too big for the closet has to sit for parts until they go out. So the garage isn't that big. It's an old building. The garage is not that big. So these things have been sitting there for 2 months now almost. And they're still sitting there. We've never got a call back from this guy. But, you know, I called and left him a voicemail. I also sent him a text because he said, you can also send me a text at this number. So I was like, ooh, text now. I open up my phone, go to the menu where my text now is at, and I shot the man a text with everything I just told him on the phone. We had a problem in our area a while back where something happened with the phones in our block at work where we couldn't make long distance phone calls. Now, yeah, there's really no such thing as a long distance phone call anymore, but for all intents and purposes, we couldn't make a long distance phone call. We could make local phone calls to our local 239 area, but we couldn't make phone calls out, period, to anything other than a 239. And that had something to do, I think we've got Comcast VoIP phones, so had something to do with whatever was going on with their service at that time. They corrected it within about 2 hours, maybe 3 hours. We were doing this, but it was during the time of day where I needed to be making parts phone calls and saying, hey, I got your parts. You want us at your house soon, hopefully, to get rid of them? So I hopped on TextNow and started shooting texts to these people. You can, if a person is local, if a person is staying local and they have a non-local phone number, you know it's a cell phone anyway, so why not shoot them a text? So that's what I did. I hopped on my phone. I shot texts to 5 or 6 people that day because they were all out of the area numbers. And because we were having phone troubles, I couldn't, you know, we couldn't call them, and I wasn't going to call them from my phone. You know, I don't want to take my cell phone and use it in the office like that. I don't mind shooting a text with it, but I'm not going to sit there and make a phone call. Hey, this is Donna with blah, blah, blah. Your parts are in. You know, I want them to know that, especially with the guy yesterday, that, you know, I tell them that this is just an app that I can send text through. I can't receive phone calls through it. I tell people that for that purpose, and that's the only purpose I tell them that for, so they don't try to call me back later in the day after shops close and I'm home or out and about doing something. I don't want, you know, I don't mind getting that text, but I don't want the phone ringing. And you can actually you can set your preferences for TextNow to come up in your notifications. It'll ring straight to your phone if you want it to. The texts, you still have to go get them in that app, but everything's an app on a phone these days, you know, so that's no big deal. So if you're in a business where you don't want people knowing your real number, but you still need to be able to communicate with people, still need to be able to send texts, TextNow is the way to go. You can actually get a phone plan if you need one for as low as $10 a month, I think it said. If you need a phone, they've got phones. I believe it goes through T-Mobile, which is also Sprint now, I think. But so you can sign up, get a phone number, get a plan if you need one, get a phone if you need one. But if all you need is a second phone number, so that for signing up for things, to get the people that you don't want you having your real number, whatever other thing that you want to do, if you're cheating on a spouse, this is another number that you can use to keep the texts and the phone calls off the phone bill. Whatever it is that you might need a second phone number for, there it is. Like I said, I use mine for signing up for stuff. I use mine for sending texts to clients, so they don't have my real number. You know, and it makes it nice, so you can just hop on the app, you can chat with somebody, you can call somebody, and they don't have your real number. That number can be changed at any time. For any reason, you could change that number whenever you want. So you don't have to, you know, like change your name on Facebook, for example, what is it, every 6 weeks or every 6 months. You don't have to call up Verizon and say, hey, I need a new number. You could still block people on it just like you always would, like you could with your own phone. They've got it now where you can make video calls on it. Let me open up my app to a blank screen. I'll show you what it looks like. It keeps your conversations, your text message conversations, just like your messaging on your phone already does. It keeps track of your phone calls that went out. So that's what the app looks like. You can text here. Let's see. So I can show you here. Up here, you can decide whether you want to send a message or make a phone call. You can make a message or a phone call. If you forget your number, let me show you. If you forget your number, those three, whoops, it's not wanting to show you. Okay. Oh, I see what's happening there. Okay. So those three little lines here, if you were to touch that, it gives you your phone number. And that's where all of your stuff is too. You can either sync your contacts up with your phone, or if you're using this as a completely secret phone number from anybody who knows you, you have to store your contacts on the computer. You have to literally log into their website with your username and password and store the contacts there instead. But once they're stored there, it takes a little while to sync up with your phone and with your tablets and stuff. But then you're able to use that. Then you're able to store your contacts that way and find them. So if if you need to have a second phone number for any reason, TextNow is definitely the way to go. Again, you go to TextNow.com, you click on their menu, go to login, say don't have an account, you can sign up for free. If you sign up for free this way, you've got to use a you have to use a email address. But once you get over here, if you don't want to use an email address, you can sort of, if you don't want to use your email address, you can sign up with your Facebook account or your Gmail account. And then you're able to use your app just like any other app. And it's nice. Let's see what kind of phones they got. Why not? Oh, cheapy phones, but hey. These looks like the phones that you would get if you'd walk into Dollar General or something. Wow. Now this will probably change here very soon. Yeah, see the iPhone 6s? they're stopping support for these. They're not going to send any more updates or anything. So these guys are going to become obsolete here very soon. This is what I have, but I have the Plus, and I spent a lot more than that for it almost 2 years ago. Bring your own phone for free, as long as it is compatible. What they'll do is they'll send you a SIM card to slip in. So it makes it really nice. Where do I get coverage? With TextNow, you get coverage through Wi-Fi and nationwide data networks. Looks like they have both. So they have the CDMA and the GSM coverage maps, which makes it nice. Which network does TextNow mobile phone service use? TextNow uses your Wi-Fi connection first, and then when it's available, even for text and calls. When there's no Wi-Fi connection, TextNow will use Sprint's nationwide 2G voice, 3G and 4G network for our CDMA phones and SIM cards, and nationwide GSM networks for our GSM SIM cards. Is there a contract? All plans are no contract. You can cancel your plan whenever you like without any penalties or charges. Do I need to get the monthly plan, or can I just buy the device? All devices require monthly plans for it to work. We do not sell phones without a monthly plan attached. Does my data get used when I'm on Wi-Fi? When you're on Wi-Fi, data does not get used at all. Well, I'll be charged overage fees when I use up my 3G and 4G data. You'll never be charged overage fees. You will be prompted with an option to upgrade to the next plan before you hit your limit, just like regular cell phone plans. Let's see, warranty. Does TextNow work internationally? TextNow will work internationally when connected to a Wi-Fi network. However, 3G and 4G data will not be available when you travel internationally. So you can take this thing home with you. As long as you've got an internet connection, you've got a phone. So if you're traveling from overseas and come to the U.S. and you hook this up, you can still make your calls and stuff when you go home. Also, when you're traveling from U.S. to international, when you don't live there, you can still use it. But most of us have regular cell phones now. This is just a backup. So, can I port in my own phone number? They can do it as long as you purchase a plan through them. You'll get a temporary number until your phone number is ported in. Can I use my existing phone with TextNow Wireless? We have many options available to use your existing phone with TextNow. If you have a smartphone from Sprint that is off contract, there's a good chance we can activate it directly here. If you have a CDMA or GSM phone, we have SIM cards available for purchase. Can I use my device without a subscription? Our phones are designed to be used with a TextNow service and require monthly subscription. We heavily subsidize the cost of your phones to make them as affordable as possible for our consumers, and we hope to recoup the cost of the phones via monthly subscription. Can I call internationally? Yes, you can call internationally with the TextNow. International calling rates are here. Let's see what they are. International calling rates. China up 2.2 cents per minute. Mexico, and it's free. UK is free. Well, that's kind of cool. Looks like Canada is also free. Let's try. Where do I have friends? I have friends in Canada. I have friends in the UK. England. Okay, United Kingdom. Okay. Where else? Spain. Really? Now, see, this I gotta see. These must be countries that work with this company. Huh. So certain countries you can actually make free calling. It's interesting, isn't it? Let's see, Australia. Australia, 2 cents a minute. It's probably the same thing with New Zealand, 2.1 cents a minute. Germany, free. This is pretty cool. I've never gone through this and looked, but this is awesome. Who else? United Arab Emirates. 30 cents a minute. Holy beep! 30 cents a minute to call the UAE. Wow. Egypt. 15.3 cents a minute to call someone in Egypt. Holy WhatsApp! But you get the idea. So, you know, it really makes it nice. You can call certain countries. It doesn't even cost you extra. And as long as you're on a Wi-Fi plan, you could call them anyway. But it's really nice to be able to have this option. So, pardon me. So let's see what's happening down at the beach. We just had a nice thunderstorm. It's cleared. Let's see what we can do here. It's stuck. We'll refresh it. But yeah, so if you're traveling from international to the U.S., TextNow is really your way to go. You want to be able to communicate. You don't want to have to tell people, you know, I just don't have a U.S. phone. I'm visiting from overseas, and I just don't have a phone. This is the perfect way around it. So we're waiting for this commercial to stop so we can go to the beach. Got to get my son up here in a few minutes. We've got to go pick up a chair. He's needing a new desk chair, so it's the day to do it, right? Oh, look at that beautiful water. We never really have waves. You're seeing waves here, and the reason you're seeing waves here is there was a little tropical depression that just passed over Florida, and we're still feeling the effects of it from behind the storm. It's rained nonstop now, 2 days. Today we're expecting some more rain to come in from the tropics, but as you can see, all this up here passed us yesterday, so it came from the tropics, went up that way. But we've still got some stuff in the water out here, and what's happening is it's pulling in. See that white dot? There's Naples, and that's where I'm at. So it's pulling in these waves still. And, it's kind of funny because unless there's something in the water, we never have waves like that. We never hardly have waves. I mean, look how calm it is behind that. We have been having trouble north of here in Sanibel Island with undertows. So you just have to be really careful. Okay, this is the Sanibel Island beach cam. This is just north of us. This is a barrier island. If you look at the map of Florida, you have Naples, and if you go up the coast, there's a town called Bonita Springs. Now, on the west coast of Bonita Springs, you will see the beach line. And what happens with that beach line is it comes up to a set of barrier islands. You have Fort Myers Beach, Estero Island, and when you come off of Fort Myers Beach, Estero Island, back into Fort Myers, and you head due west, there is another island chain out there called Sanibel and Captiva, and this is Sanibel. Like I said, we never get waves like this unless something's in our water. I mean, you've seen some of my webcam pictures that I take, and we usually have glass smooth water. So unless something's in the water, which sort of is right now, it's passing, but we still have some of the effects from it. That's the only time we get waves on this coast. If you can see this dark water out here, a lot of that is kelp. And what we're actually having happen right now is Lake Okeechobee, the Army Corps of Engineers has been releasing excess water through the dikes, and it comes out here. So what we wind up having happen is a mixture of the waters, and a mixture of fresh and salt water. And then what we wind up having happen is we get these algae blooms called red tide, and it kills a lot of fish. It kills our dolphins, kills our manatees. Last year, the red tide bloom was so bad. We had where they had 1 week between Sunday and the following Monday, I think it was. Maybe not even quite that long. They actually had where they weighed it all out between the marine life, the fish, the dolphins. I don't think we had any whales in it, but the fish, the dolphins, some of the sharks, the manatees. They had a 1 week span in there where they had 1 million pounds of marine life that they collected from the beaches and from the waters floating because of this red tide. And a lot of this red tide they think is caused by the fertilizers and stuff run off into the waters, and what happens is this red algae blooms and it sucks up all the oxygen in the water, and whatever's in that area gets disoriented from the toxins, but then suffocates from the lack of oxygen in the water. So that's what makes everybody so mad down here. I mean, yes, we have to release waters from Okeechobee, but they're trying to, I think the president signed a month or so ago this bill where he's going to start diverting the water into the Everglades. Because the Everglades, for the most part, is fresh water. And it used to be, that's what the watershed did. Before all the development and stuff in Florida started happening, is that the water really did run down into the Everglades from Lake Okeechobee naturally. Can't do that these days, but they're supposed to start building something, maybe canals or something. I'm not exactly sure what the outcome of the meeting was, but they're actually going to start sending the water to the Everglades, and the Everglades are sort of drying up to a point anyway. Now we just get rid of those darn snakes. All right, well, I've been chatting about TextNow and all this good stuff since almost 40 minutes now. I can't believe it. Oh my gosh. So you got my brand new Facebook page, NeapolitanGal. Go figure. So follow me on Instagram. I might just follow you back. Twitter, same thing. Tumblr, and of course my YouTube channel. I do have a webpage coming soon. I haven't had much chance to work on it this week, but it is coming. So it's not going to be a .com or anything like that. It's just going to be a free page until I start getting monetized well, and then I'll .com it. But until then, free's free. So don't forget to tell your international friends that are traveling here about TextNow. You can get a TextNow now. If I'll copy the link below for TextNow's website, but it's a great way to have an extra phone number for other things. So have a great rest of your weekend, y'all, and I'll catch you later. Smash that like button. Click that bell to get notifications every time I post a video.